HOA Karen tried to enter my vault bunker, got trapped in the decontamination chamber. Have you ever wondered what happens when someone's obsession with control collides with a system they can't bully? In the quiet suburbs of Willow Creek, where manicured lawns and pristine mailboxes define status, Karen Mitchell reigned supreme. As the HOA president, she wielded her rulebook like a scepter, fining neighbors for unapproved paint colors and rogue garden gnomes. But when she set her sights on my private vault bunk-era sanctuary I'd built beneath my property for emergencies, her quest for dominance led her straight into a trap of her own making. My bunker wasn't just a hobby, it was a fortress. After years of prepping for the worst natural disasters, societal collapse, you name it, I'd sunk my savings into a state-of-the-art underground shelter. Reinforced steel walls, a self-sustaining hydroponic garden, and a decontamination chamber to neutralize any external threats. The entrance was hidden beneath a shed in my backyard, disguised as a utility hatch. To the neighbors, it was just another quirk of that survivalist guy. To Karen, it was an affront to her authority. Unpermitted structures, she called it in her endless emails, demanding I submit blueprints to the HOA board. I ignored her. Big mistake. Karen's campaign started innocently enough. She'd knock on my door, clipboard in hand, citing vague HOA bylaws about structural modifications. I'd smile, say I'd look into it, and close the door. But Karen wasn't one to back down. She escalated certified letters, threats of fines, even a surprise visit from a city inspector she'd sweet-talked. The inspector found nothing. The bunker was off-grid, untraceable by municipal records. That's when Karen's obsession turned personal. She started snooping around my property at odd hours, peering over fences, taking photos. My security cameras caught her one night, flashlight in hand, poking at the shed. I should have confronted her then, but I thought she'd tire herself out. I underestimated her. The truth was, Karen wasn't just nosy, she was desperate to prove her power. Neighbors whispered about her crumbling personal life. A messy divorce, a son who wouldn't speak to her, a board that was starting to question her iron grip. My bunker became her white whale, a symbol of defiance she couldn't tolerate. Then came the twist. I wasn't the only one she'd targeted. Enter Maria, my neighbor across the street, a single mom who'd been quietly documenting Karen's overreach. Maria had a file emails, recorded rants, even a video of Karen berating a teenager for skateboarding. She's unhinged, Maria told me one evening, slipping me a USB drive. Use this if she comes for you. I didn't want a war, but Maria's evidence was my insurance policy. The showdown came on a muggy August evening. My bunker security system pinged my phone at 2 a.m. motion sensors in the shed. I pulled up the camera feed and there she was, Karen in a tracksuit prying at the hatch with a crowbar. My heart raced, not with fear but with grim satisfaction. The bunker's entrance was rigged with a failsafe. Anyone who breached it without the code would trigger the decontamination chamber, a sealed room designed to lock down and cleanse intruders before they could access the main vault. It was meant for biohazards, but it worked just as well for busybodies. Karen managed to jimmy the hatch open impressive, honestly, and descended the ladder. The cameras showed her fumbling in the dark, her flashlight beam bouncing off the steel walls. She reached the decontamination chamber, a sleek, cylindrical room with a single door. The moment she stepped inside, the system registered an unauthorized entry. The door slammed shut, and the chamber's automated protocol kicked in. Lockdown, airlock seal, and a blaring alarm that echoed through the bunker. Karen was trapped. I watched the feed from my living room, torn between calling the cops and letting her stew. The chamber wasn't lethal, it pumped in filtered air and had a 2-hour cycle before the door would unlock, but it was designed to scare. Red warning lights flashed, and a robotic voice repeated, Decontamination in progress. Remain calm. Karen didn't. She pounded on the door, screaming about lawsuits and knowing my rights. Her clipboard, dropped in her panic, lay crumpled on the floor. I almost felt bad. Almost. Then came Maria's twist. My phone buzzed with a text. Check the neighborhood group chat. I opened it to find Maria had posted the video from her USB drive Karen's meltdown at the skateboarder. Now viral among the neighbors. Comments flooded in. She fined me for my rose bushes. She called my dog a nuisance. The tide was turning. Maria, the quiet mom who'd kept her head down, had just fired the first shot in a rebellion. By morning, the chat was a war zone, with neighbors demanding Karen's resignation. Back in the bunker, Karen's screams had turned to sobs. I decided to end it. I suited up in a hazmat gear partly for safety, partly for drama, and descended into the bunker. Through the chamber's window, I saw her slumped against the wall, mascara streaked, her bravado gone. I keyed in the override code, and the door hissed open. "You're trespassing," I said, voice muffled by the suit. She didn't argue, just staggered out, clutching her crowbar like a lifeline. I escorted her to the surface, where a small crowd had gathered, neighbors alerted by the group chat. Maria stood at the front, arms crossed, her evidence now a weapon. Karen tried to save face. "This is an outrage," she shouted, pointing at me. "He's hiding something illegal down there." But the neighbors weren't buying it. Maria stepped forward, holding up her phone. "Want to talk about illegal, Karen? How about harassment? Extortion? We've got it all documented." The crowd murmured agreement. Karen's eyes darted, searching for an ally, but found none. Her reign was over. The fallout was swift. By the next HOA meeting, Karen had resigned, citing personal reasons. The board, now led by Maria, voted to loosen the bylaws, prioritizing community over control. Karen sold her house a month later and moved out of state. Rumor had it she was trying to start a new HOA in her new neighborhood, but no one cared enough to check. My bunker? Still there, still secret, though I added an extra lock to the hatch, just in case. Looking back, it wasn't just about trapping Karen in a chamber, it was about exposing her for what she was. A bully who thrived on fear until she faced a system she couldn't manipulate. The neighbors rebuilt, not just their rules but their trust in each other. Maria became a local hero, proof that quiet strength could outlast loud tyranny. As for me, I learned to never underestimate a nosy neighbor or the power of a well-placed security system. What do you think? Did Karen get what she deserved? Or should I have let her off easier? Share your thoughts. Sometimes the line between justice and revenge is thinner than a bunker's steel walls.